So I'm back with another story time. After last night's video, I got so many requests for another story time. So listen, I'm back with a hot one. I'm giving y'all guys the red light special, you know what I'm saying, the laser light show, because today's video is going to be intense. So if you got kids, you need to tell them to get out the room. So this story is one of those stories I feel embarrassed to talk about, because this is a point in my life where, let's just say, I wasn't the greatest person. And, you know, now that I'm in my 40s, it's a definite change with how I used to be. But this story can serve as a purpose for you people that are younger, so you learn not to make the mistakes that I made. So let me start off with how everything began. So when I was younger, I met this female. I'm not going to mention her name because I don't need any legal backlash for this video. Let's just say her name was Tina, right? Now, this female, I met her at a bus stop. Now, this is back in the day, you know, early 2000s. So anyhow, we met, we spoke. I asked her for a number. She never gave me a number, right? Don't know. She just never gave me a number. You know what I'm saying? I'm dressing on some wild stuff. You know, I guess I wasn't her type. So anyhow, I happened to be on a bus, man. And another time, randomly, she walks on the bus. Okay, cool. So I get, you know, I get to the back of the bus. I'm already there, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And she walks to the back of the bus. Now, I don't know, we ain't say nothing, maybe a hi, I don't even really remember. But what I do remember is that there was this kid getting picked on the back of the bus. And you know what? I stood up for him. And after I finished standing up for the kid that was getting picked on, the girl who I seen at the bus stop, she ends up coming to talk to me. I guess women like that courageous thing, man. And that's one thing about me. When I was younger, I always was a person that didn't like people getting picked on. And I just think that's still me today. You know what I'm saying? I always stand up for people that's in trouble. And that's how I get into a lot of trouble myself. Y'all can ask my ex-girlfriend. But I'm not gonna get too much into that. I don't need to get it mad, you know what I'm saying? We cool though, but she know me. I'm gonna protect mine. I'm just that type of person, you know? I don't like seeing people getting picked on. So anyhow, we end up kicking it. You know what I'm saying? We end up kicking it. We end up going out a couple of times. And yeah, man, we end up, you know, hitting it off, man. You know, we got together. But then there's just certain differences, cultural differences. Because here I am, you know, a college student. She's a working female. We have differences, man. And a lot of that was my own immaturity and insecurity. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, I'm in college. This girl, she in the union. Oh, damn. I'm giving too much away. She basically making bread. She making cake. She got that good job. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be real. A nigga started getting a little jealous, whatever, a little envious. Because, you know, in my culture, a man's supposed to be providing. He's supposed to be taking care of everything. And how is it that a woman comes out and knows she's making more money than you? It starts to make you feel inferior as a man. So, you know, I have my little pet peeves and shit like that. But anyhow, later on in the situation, it's just, I started realizing we're not compatible. We're not emotionally compatible. And part of me was like, previous women I dealt with, they were emotional. So we had some emotional attachment or emotional connection. I didn't get an emotional connection with this female. So it was like, damn, this shit is just, man, this shit is like, but anyway, I'm going to work through it. I'm going to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, I'm be honest, you know what I'm saying? I guess I wasn't finding emotional fulfillment in this female. So this is my first time cheating, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went out and I went and smashed some other female, you know what I'm saying? Because we already having problems. And I told her, so you know that chick was gonna double back, you know what I'm saying? She gotta get a lick back. So she went and smashed her ex, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, that's letting you know this situation was not meant to be. What was you doing here? How'd that even happen? The previous woman to her, I never cheated on her. You know what I'm saying? Never cheated on her, right? You know what I'm saying? And here I go, I get with this female, I cheat on her, she cheats back on me. Oh, the beginning of a toxic relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I'm dealing with this female. Now, this is like a time where I'm coming around with learning magic, you know what I'm saying? And I started applying the sciences, like, cause she was about to leave me and shit, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I basically, this is around the time when I started really putting this stuff into practice, you know what I'm saying? But of course I had my trial and error, but I'll make a video about that. So anyhow, she wanted to leave. So I did some love magic on her. Brought her back. You know what I'm saying? Brought her back. You know, everything was cool, you know what I'm saying? But it was one of those back and forth things, you know what I'm saying? Man, she started jonesing, tweaking, and you know, she hit me up. We started connecting again. Everything was smooth. For some apparent reason, we just kept on bumping heads. Everything, it was never a full day we wouldn't go without arguing about something. Like, we just was not compatible. You know what I'm saying? She was the opposite zodiac sign for me in element. So that right there was, even on the astrological level, we wasn't compatible. So it was just fighting and arguing all the time. And then later on, it started getting to the point where Shorty started like meeting other dudes. She was an attractive female. So I'm like, I'm already in my feelings. I'm an emotional cat, you know what I'm saying, at that time. So I started getting my feelings, man, like, oh, all right, you gonna meet this dude? All right, I'm tripping. Listen, I'm telling you, all the emotional stuff you guys used to do, you know, coming to the female's house, the shit I tell y'all not to do, I tell you this because I used to do it myself. So anyhow, you know what I'm saying, yeah. I go check this female out, man. And it's nonsense. So I started doing my breakup spells, you know what I'm saying? You know, she meet this dude, she started talking about, oh, I'm talking to this dude or whatever, I met this guy, boom, break that up, you know what I'm saying? Another one come by, break that up, boom. Another one come by, break that up, you know what I'm saying? And bro, I'm telling you, that's how it was. It's like this female come back, then she'd be like, all right, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then she'd dip. So, you know, my emotions is like, bro, what the, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to be in a relationship and you just ready to quick and leave me like that. So it was like, bro, this female is like, bro, it's like one of those, man, she was just toxic, but I'm telling you, this girl, the sex is crazy. That was one of the reasons why I was there, because the sex was addicting, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was addicted to this female, you know what I'm saying? So anyhow, man, that was some crazy shit, man. That was some insane, man. That was some insane stuff, man. I'm telling you, man, the sex was like off the hook, off the chain, nasty, splashing, splash off, anything, man, I'm telling you, man, that was wild. So that's what kept me there. But I guess in my young mind, I couldn't really understand that, you know, because I knew the female wasn't for me, but I still kept on messing with her, man. Until one day, this was like the beginning of the end. You know what I'm saying? I go check Shorty out. I go to her crib because I'm like calling the phone. She not answering. So I show up at her crib. What do I see? I crack open the door. She ain't locked the door. The door is open. I find her in bed with some dude whatsoever. That shit was crazy. Oh my God. That shit. Oh my God. It was one of those things. That was my breaking point where I could not feel anything. Because I was surprised. When that shit happened, I left, but it was like, nah, I got a fake cry. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, that's what I'm saying. You ain't no player if you don't know how to fake cry. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I could make a female break down just with my fake crying out of nowhere, man. I just like, you know what I'm saying, just snap my finger and I just start crying out of nowhere, bro. And I try to make it seem like my feelings was hurt and all that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So she ended up leaving the guy, right? So I'm telling you, all that sucker ass shit, you know what I'm saying, that I be talking, you know, telling y'all not to do. I've been there. I've done all of that. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, of course, I did some work in the midst of all that, you know what I'm saying? But that, you know, crying at will definitely got to her because now she felt bad and all this type of all this type of shit, you know what I'm saying? So that was like manipulation, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, we started working it out again. Ah, man, everything going smooth. And then all of a sudden, here this shit goes. And this is like the final episode, you know what I'm saying? Because we started going distant. She started moving on with her life, getting with somebody productive, all this type of shit, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, I don't know who old boy is. This is not one of those scenarios like before, man. I don't know who old boy is, man. So time goes on. We spent a long time. We separated. But here it goes, man. This is when shit got crazy. Now, there's a spirit in the Goetia, right? And listen, the spirit, I think it's Lariah or something like that. Now, I don't know who old boy is, so I'm like, okay, let me summon this spirit. I don't even really have that much experience at that time, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a youngster. So I summon this demon, right? To break up whomever she's with. Bruh. Nothing happens, right? I'm thinking everything is whatever, you know what I'm saying? This shit didn't do nothing, whatever. I forget all about it, right? So this is, we've been apart for a minute now. And the reason why we apart is because she dealing with this anonymous dude. So anyhow, I don't know what happened. You know, Mom Dukes get this contract with her to basically paint my brother's new house and shit, right? So, yeah. She ended up being over there and I'm over there. Now I'm working on a house. The first thing that happened that day that should have been a warning to me was I'm working on a house and this wood, I think it was a 2x4 or something like that, that was in the ceiling, fell down and hit me, like actually it fell from the ceiling and hit me on the head and my head started bleeding. That should have been a sign to me like, hey man, something's off, but I'm young. So I'm in my early 20s. I don't know any better. So here goes the craziness. So listen again, make sure your children are not here. You know, they need to be in another room because this is about to get graphic. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give y'all like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? If your kid's around, to tell them to leave the room. 1, 2, not 5 minutes. What I'm saying? 5 minutes, 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm taking that your kids are not in the room. So anyhow, my head's already bleeding. So old girl pulls up. Now this is crazy. You know, she pulls up and I don't know, we start talking. I don't know how it happened, but she ended up leaving. We had a conversation about her and I was like, you always leaving me or some shit like that. I got my feelings about some shit, you know what I'm saying? And we had a conversation and when she was about to leave, I don't know, she said something, whatever. And when she was about to leave, I grabbed her arm. And that right there was the beginning of the end. Right there, that was the touch of death. Because all I know is after I grabbed her, we started tussling. She grabs a sharp object or something like that, and she stabs me, right? I still got the scars today, right? So one in the back of my head, it was a sharp object, whatever. What do they call them? Paint scrapers, but the one with the big razor blade, it's like detachable razor blades and shit like that. So she basically cuts me with this shit. She hits me in the head, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So listen, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? I gave her a couple of licks whatsoever, you know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So, man, blood's everywhere. One, I already got, my head's already bleeding from the 2x4 shit. Now I got more blood on me, you know what I'm saying? Because of the shit that she stabbed me with. You know what I'm saying? Arm, head, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that shit was crazy. Blood was everywhere. So we get, after that tussle, she runs out the door on some crazy shit. She got blood all over her. So who pulls up? Mom Dukes. Mom Dukes pull up. And it's like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Mom Dukes calls her, she runs into her car and she drives off. All right, cool. Blood's everywhere. My mom's asking what the hell happened and shit like that. And it's like, bro, yeah, we just talk whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was what it was. All of a sudden, yo, car pull up full of dudes. I'm inside the house like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I hear my brother's outside and he talking and these niggas start wilding on my brother. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stand there, okay, oh shit, it's time to go brawl. Old girl went and got her family, and I don't know, they saw all this blood on her, so they naturally reacted. I ended up finding out later down the line that people thought that I did that to her. I beat her up and she had all this, like it was her blood on her, but it wasn't. So you can already see the spirit already made things seem like I did something crazy and I didn't. So I got blood pouring on me. My brother outside yelling. Dudes is out here scrapping and they wailing. And they say they trying to jump my boy. They say, so I come out the house, old cage fighter, old MMA fighter. You know what I'm saying? I see this, you know, this Puerto Rican dude, you know what I'm saying? He over there, it's two on my brother. You say Puerto Rican dude, I run down on him like Vitor Belfort. I had to hit the boy, I swear to God, I had to hit that boy, you know what I'm saying, with like, I think I had to hit that boy probably like 10 to 15 times, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man, and he falls, whatever, you know what I'm saying? My brother started holding his own. Other dudes come out of nowhere, all right, whatever. So my brother, you know, he good. So I turn around, I see this big Arnold Schwarzenegger dude whatsoever. So here I am, you know what I'm saying? I got some skills. So we start toeing up, toe to toe. You know what I'm saying? He throws a jab, I parry it, pop him right there. You know what I'm saying? So we start toeing up together, you know what I'm saying? So all I know, my hoodie gets dragged, you know what I'm saying? I fall over and shit. Man, I'm like, what the hell is this? So I get back up. Nah, actually I didn't fall. I fell because the big Bolo Arnold Schwarzenegger, basically it was old girl father who grabbed me from the back while I was standing toe to toe with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying? So he grabs me, Arnold Schwarzenegger clocks me like, BAM! Oh my God, this dude, oh my God, you ever seen Super Punch? You ever seen Mike Tyson punch out when, you know what I'm saying, Little Mac gets uppercutted by Mike Tyson? That was how it was. Or like Super Punch Out from Super Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? When you hit the whole, bro, I'm telling you, it wasn't lights out, but I know one thing, my jaw was swole as hell. So now, for you people that want the details, because this shit is gonna lead you into your own personal research, right? Because if you look online, there's a picture my rivals was sharing years ago. It's my mugshot from that whole scenario, that whole incident. You see my jaw looks deformed. You know what I'm saying? That's because I was sucker punched by someone that was like probably twice my size, you know what I'm saying? But anyhow, that story ties in to what I'm talking about today. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I want to highlight on there is that you're going to see terroristic threats, because this is going to lead you into where I'm going to take you in the story, right? So anyhow, because of the severity of the situation, we both get locked up, because that's how domestic violence shit happens. You know what I'm saying? We both end up getting locked up. So we going through the dispute, you know, I end up dropping my charges on her. She ended up dropping her charges on me, right? But actually, that's later down the line. I was so vexed that shit happened. Regardless, it's like, you know, I'm gonna rewind this back a little bit. I was so vexed that this happened. Before the charges was dropped, I went out and summoned this spirit. Now, this is me this is religion. This is not even really magic. This is like religion. I call this spirit up. You know what I'm saying? I said, I want this to happen to X, Y, Z, that to happen to X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Whoop-de-whoop. So I'm out there in the open field in the middle of nowhere, and I'm saying my petition and asking this female, this spirit, this female spirit to intercede in my situation. I want my revenge, because one, they came to my mother's house. They came to my, like, a house where my mother was at. You know what I'm saying? My mom had to see that. You know what I'm saying? And they try to violate my brother on that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, of course, you're never supposed to put your hands on a female. And that's one thing, but always in the back of my mind, I was like, boy, I should have never fucked with that Goetia spirit like that. I didn't even have the experience for it. But that's all in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? That right there, that's something that's true. But in the same token, the world is the world. What you see with your two eyes is what you see with your two eyes. You got to get your lick back. So I say what I say. Anyhow, time goes on. We got these cases pending against us. Hers was worse because she used a deadly weapon, which they completely consider that, a deadly weapon, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So her charge was very serious, So anyhow, my mom worked out something where she got old girl a lawyer, and we worked things out, and we end up dropping the charges against her. She ended up dropping her charges against me. You know what I'm saying? So now everything's done with. We still not speaking. We not talking whatsoever. But eventually one time, later down the line, I ended up getting a call from her. And we spoke about everything. You know what I'm saying? But it was a little bit too late. And why do I say that? Is because her father, 7 months later, ended up having a massive heart attack. He died. Now, this is crazy because I think a week prior, I went over there to apologize for what happened on my end with his daughter. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up passing away. Crazy story after that. You know what I'm saying? In the car full of dudes, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Her brother was there too. So the brother and I, we actually became friends after that scenario. You know what I'm saying? We became close friends, man. And I'll say this. We started getting involved in a lot of nonsense, things that I shouldn't even been associated with. But I'm going to say this. He ended up getting a raw deal because there was some shit that he had. You know what I'm saying? And let's just say this. It was an illegal firearm that happened to be in a room. That's like, I believe it was a AK-47, right? And he was chilling in the room. Now, mind you, I'm used to hanging out with this guy, this and that, crew and everything. Illegal AK-47. And somehow that day, when I wasn't around them, they all together in one room and old boy's girlfriend is there. Somehow, an accident happened. The girl ended up getting shot with an AK-47. She dies. And the brother and his friends, that crew, they end up going to fucking jail or prison. I think jail because it was manslaughter, 7 years, etc. Right? 7 years. So they went to, I don't know. I believe it's probably jail or prison, 7 years. Yeah. So they got hit with manslaughter, every one of them. Nobody told, right? Now, next in the path of chaos, the ex-girlfriend, she was crazy because in the midst of this, she ended up getting to a very bad car accident, man. Oh my God, bad car accident. Man, this shit, you seen the car, you'll be wondering, how the fuck this girl lived? Man, she got fucked up, bruh. You know what I'm saying? She got fucked up, bruh. And it's like, yo, this shit was crazy, man. Yeah, her memory's all fucked up too. You know what I'm saying? After that scenario. Yeah, it's some crazy ass shit, bro. But we eventually, after that shit, you know what I'm saying? She had to go therapy, all this type of stuff, man. And we end up linking up again, but just cool, buddy, friend shit. And she was still on the old program, you know what I'm saying? Holding around. And then she tried to get with somebody else, and the same scenario happened with her. You know what I'm saying? In that scenario, but it was worse. She met a dude that was whooping her ass, kicking her ass, and everything. And after that, we was talking and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, it was just not the same anymore. And, one time she gave me an alternative, man. In our final communication, she gave me an alternative. She said, if you want to get with me, you got to change the way you live your lifestyle. Let all this voodoo witchcraft stuff go. And, we can work this thing out. I said, no, I chose not to. You know what I'm saying? I felt what I was doing, and I felt like it's going to take me very far. and I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, I started getting to a whole different genre, whole different crowd of people. And it's like, man, I love where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So I left that alone. So to say, you know, what happened to her, I mean, I just left her alone, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? I moved on with my life, you know? So what we can get from this story here is number one, you know what I'm saying? Don't put your hands on anyone. I don't care how minor it is. Keep your hands to yourself, because shit like this can definitely lead into other shit. So many men have found themselves at the edge of a knife over that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's just natural shit, right? So you definitely want to keep your hands to yourself, because these women ain't fucking around. And don't let no spirit be in the picture. That spirit will motivate them to do some fuck ass shit. And now they looking at years in prison. So with that, I'm gonna say this too. You can't just be dabbling into shit you know nothing of when it comes to this witchcraft shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be playing games, because that shit can easily backfire on you. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the game is, man. You know, for many people that may look at this as, well, you know, you did that. I mean, it is what it is. In what we see with our two eyes, in the eyes of a human being, you got to get your lick back, man. You know what I'm saying? And I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy story. I know. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of things that I learned from that. You know, as far as my interaction with women after that, it took me some time. But eventually I left that emotional shit alone and realized that shit is like garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, bruh, you know, when you don't have any options, you're gonna do that weak emotional shit. You know what I'm saying? When you start bettering yourself in life, you start getting options, things, your view of the world becomes different. And it's like, bro, when you start evolving, a lot of this stuff, man, you know, your perception changes, man. You know what I'm saying? So as far as that happened, man, I learned a lot from that experience, you know, and it definitely, you know, curved the way I do things today, you know, and it allows me to teach you guys from experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through the shit that you guys are going through. So that's why I tell you not to do the things you're doing. So with that said, I hope this video was an eye opener. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that it helps someone who's in the same situation to not make the choices that I made. And with that said, deuces.